We are finally back in our Minnesota Vikings Online User Franchise. The offseason was wild, of course, with the draft reset / revert glitch, whatever the hell you want to call it. EA calls it a non-issue, apparently, and they're finally working on it. Who knows when that'll be done. And we had to do what kind of like your dad may have done in the past. You know, lying to your mother and then, you know, saying, hey, I had to work late. When really he's doing a fantasy draft with the boys, and they're doing it manually by writing on that whiteboard, okay? We had to do a text draft where in the Discord, you know, everyone would choose their players in order, and we would set the draft boards, sim it, and it at least worked. It took a long time to do. Shout out to the guys. You know, it was a pretty long effort. I did maybe like 10% of the work at best, and it was long, but it's done, and we didn't get reset. So as long as it works, right? That's what they say. Hey, as long as it works, man. And I will end up showing you, I think, all the classes. We're going to try to get through all the classes because otherwise it's going to be a short video anyways. But the offseason was so hectic for my team and a lot of different teams here that I think it needs to be shown. Otherwise, it'd be so weird to just go right into week one. It's like, that's quite the different roster you got there. But to start this thing out with an absolute bang, by the way, we end up trading pick 55 for the brand new quarterback, Desmond Ridder. Anthony Richardson, now the starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. A bunch of trades there as well. 24 years old, normal. It's a little older than, you know, what we're used to. Really weird, out of context that you could absolutely clip there and wouldn't be scary. But ideal sense of pressure, tight spiral, and the same exact throwing motion of Mond. I wish it was a little bit faster, obviously, but I know that we could get the job done with Mond. So with Ridder being a stronger guy and a faster guy and a more accurate guy, you know, we're feeling pretty good about it, right? Because, like I said, if you can get the job done with Mond and he's got the same throwing motion as Mond, but he's a lot better, I mean, better things should happen, simply put, right? You got breakouts in the game. That's all it takes. End of the season awards, whatever. I don't know. Could become a superstar, maybe even an X Factor in 1 year. Who knows how lucky we are? Who knows how trash we are? But I think pick 55 was absolutely worth the risk. Got him on contract for quite some time still, and we're hoping that he is the franchise quarterback. Don't think there's that much controversy with that one, but with the next move, there may be a couple of fans here, Vikings fans specifically, that might be a little mad at us. And that involves me trading Za'Darius Smith and Eric Kendricks to the Cardinals for pick 10. Of course, Za'Darius Smith dropping down to an 84 overall, Kendricks dropping down to an 88 overall, both with insane abilities, though, which is what, you know, garnered them that value to get us to pick 10 with the Cardinals. But aging a little bit, wasn't even my trade. You know, I mentioned wanting to trade up, but I was offered the trade. My trade was trying to get pick 1. Would have costed a lot, and I mean, those two rookie quarterbacks, Stroud and Bryce Young, don't know if I mentioned it, we used a real-life class, really good quarterbacks, but it was going to be like Daniil Hunter and 3 first-round picks, plus Lewis Seen or something. It was so much. I almost did it, couldn't do it, and I think ultimately he didn't even really want to do it, and you know, we would have ended up having pick 2. Still a really good quarterback who would have had one of the two, but I don't mind the way we went instead. At pick 10, we decided to get a little crazier, trade interdivisional to the Bears, trading pick 10, 147 this, in our first round next year. And I was like, whew, this is a lot, but it's a good chance we end up landing Will Anderson or Jalen Carter. But then the way the board was starting to look, you know, it was quarterback 1 and 2 for sure, quarterback number 3 likely. It's like, oh, you got a chance at Will. And even though the 4th team, the Panthers, needed quarterback, kind of decided Will was too hard to pass up on. And, you know, we kind of knew that pre-draft. And it's not a bad decision by him. It just sucks we just miss out on Will Anderson. So we get a little bit of cold feet. We end up trading back to the Bears. However, it's different as he still keeps our first round next year. But instead, we go back to 10, but we gain 37. So in all, Eric Kendricks, Za'Darius Smith, a first round next year, and 157, or whatever the hell, 5th round, 147 this year for pick 10 and 37, which I don't mind because this class this year was more juice than next year anyways. You're guaranteed someone good in the top 50 picks, whereas next year, you might not even be guaranteed someone in that first round, especially if we're a good team. So obviously, a lot riding on us playing well, Otherwise, we have our 3rd round pick and 5th round picks to work with pretty much, other than that. So definitely do not want to have a bad season this year. We're obviously, I wouldn't say all in, but we're definitely a team where there's no benefit for losing. But I should mention the players that we actually did draft with those picks. Brian Bracey, the 81 speed, 82 excel, 84 power move, defensive tackle, playing him at right end. He is superstar dev. He is quite the talent. We were very close to getting Jalen Carter at 10. He went pick 9. Still absolutely love Bracey, though. So very good pick here. Ended up with a guy we really needed at a position we really needed. And, of course, like I said, we obviously, get a superstar, simply put. And then somewhere in between there, you guys seen our quarterback situation. Kellen Mond was traded for a 5th round next year to the Commanders. Nobody wanted him during the season while we were still using him. So the fact that he was now 24 normal, I was like, well, nobody wanted him then. I don't know if anyone's going to want him now. I got an offer, took it. It is what it is. I kind of think I probably should have went for a linebacker as replacement. It is what it is. I don't really care. We got something for him. That's all that I asked for. Then we, of course, still had our own 1st round pick. We didn't end up losing that. And with that, we ended up going with Foskey. I will learn every player's name. I don't know if his name is like Foske or something, but this is who we drafted at pick 23. A little worried about the injury at 82. Obviously, it's only 78 plus 4. Little worried about the injury, but it was between him and Carter, and I think Carter was a little bit worse overall. We'll end up taking a look at him probably, but 82 power moves, 78 block shed, and of course, immense speed. So, giving me super Danielle Hunter vibes, who we ironically enough have. Obviously not as good as a finesse guy, but in general, a very good player. And, a straight one-up, replacement for Za'Darius. We obviously had some free agents. Didn't know how the draft board was going to line up, so we ended up going Melvin Ingram. He's got mentor, so at least, the mentor tag will still give, some upgrade, extra XP for Foskey anyways, even if Melvin doesn't play that much. But he's very talented too, so if we were stuck with him or, Foskey does get injured, we do have a great backup plan. Finally. It's not Wanham. It's not Wanham. Even though we still have Wanham. I don't want him. Then we took probably the biggest risk of them all. But let me tell you, it paid off. We ended up betting that Freeland was still going to be superstar. So basically, we ended up using Bengals class, I'm pretty sure. And then we had Lance edit a lot of the players. But, it was a long season for college football. And he obviously was changing things constantly between some of the guys, the higher end guys to make sure they were as realistic as possible. Must have slipped the cracks with Freeland because he, just like in Bengals class, is superstar dev. However, to get him, we did have to trade a 2nd round pick next year for pick 100. Pick 100 we got this guy, which is absolutely insane. So, massive risk, massive reward. And then also, we ended up trading again. We ended up trading a 5th round and 6th round pick next year for 166 from the Jets to land Zerer. I don't know if that's actually how you say his name, but another hidden development trait lineman, 75 overall. Once again, this is a 32-man user league, so anyone could have had these players, but we ended up being the ones to have them. Absolutely great pick there as well, and as you can see, no Darisaw to be seen or O'Neal. It's because Darisaw is playing center. He might be on the block right now, might get some decent value for him. We have a lot of really good linemen, so what am I supposed to do, Some of our other picks, we ended up going Lathan Ransom, who's got a lot of potential, 70 overall, normal development trait. You guys know I love him in our rebuild, so finally get to actually use him. He's still pretty good, and he's the projected starting strong safety. I put the Fountain of Youth on Harrison Smith, but sadly, he still regressed very hard. He's going to be our number 2, so hopefully he's near the line of scrimmage more than anything. Enforcer and Flat Zone Chaos still really good. We have to pay him still, just like Thielen, but Thielen didn't really regress as hard. That's why I put it on Harrison, because I felt like he had a bigger chance of dropping to unusable, and it's kind of what happened. Some of our other moves, though, we actually also got a punter. I should mention that. He's a superstar as well. 97 kick power, 85 accuracy. However, his ability sucks. It's clutch kicker. Don't think focus kicker does anything either, so I don't really care about that. He's just a sick kicker. Could have went with a running back, and the running back was decent. I think his name was McBride, but I don't care. The punter is a god, so we got ourselves a new punter on top of it. Some of our free agents include Mike Edwards, Didn't know what strong safety was going to hold for us. Not a bad, little 1 year, $5 million deal. We could even save like $500K if we wanted to release him. Not a bad player at all. He's solid. He'll be a good backup for us. How much will he play? I don't know, but worth the risk. We already, showed Melvin Ingram, really good backup for us there. Then we ended up with Jeromepkr, a 2 year, $6 million deal. Very fast, decent change of direction, very good coverage rating, zone at least. But I did find a free agent rookie linebacker who I may give a little burn to. Star development trait Mausa or Muasoy, whatever. I'll learn, these names obviously as we go on. I just wanted to get this in before I end up having to play week 1, which could be, a little bit later today. I don't know. Just wanted to make sure I got that done. His change of direction is like 70-something, so there's potential there. There is potential there. In normal years, I like the normal dev to star dev, dev up from a breakout, but realistically, it's not, the easiest thing to get to, trigger. He's got good hit power, good tackling. Give him a chance. If he looks all right, his movement is good, maybe I run him. If not, we can always run with Pratt. Obviously, Asamoah is the number 1 guy I'm trying to focus on this year, though, so there's that. And then, of course, we signed Jawan Johnson to, I think, a 2 year, $4 million deal. Really needed a backup tight end. Ended up getting Zach Davidson from free agency for free, pretty much. Nobody wanted him, and he was just there. Just signed him now after the draft, finished. Of course, Jawan Johnson, nice speed, 6'4", 230. Not a bad backup wide receiver, tight end, whatever you want to call him, because obviously he's kind of supposed to be a wide receiver, but he's a tight end in the game, so we'll take that. Now, not a bad number 2 at all with Irv Smith hopefully breaking out this year for us. Zach Davidson is the number 3. And then the final guy we really needed, and I think it was a good move, a 1 year, $8 million deal for David Onyemata. He's playing left end for us. He's got 85 power moves still and 80 block shed, so a very much so improved D-line. How much was it Kendricks and Harrison Smith? I don't know, but already the number 1 ranked run defense seemingly only gets better, specifically in pass rush, but in general better. All right, so I got to redo this part. I tried to show every person's full draft class, and it took way too long. So instead, we're just going to go over the first-round draft picks, whether a team had a first-round pick or they traded back. They just had a barely, start of the second-round draft pick. It just took too long. I can't do it, okay? Bryce Young, once again, a lot of different trades were happening to get to number 1 for the Dolphins, and they ended up with their franchise quarterback, superstar development trade, Gunslinger 1. Can't blame him for trading Tua. I think he got around a third-round pick, I think, maybe for him. That throw power from Tua, so bad. Throw motion, not great. He's like 86 throw power in the game or something like that. Obviously, we made him work as an X factor, but he didn't want to deal with it, and I do not blame him in one bit. Then you have pick 2, C.J. Stroud. Could have been 1A, 1B. The way this turned out, it's hard to tell because 85 speed is a threshold that we have for quarterbacks to count for backup carries. So, Bryce Young having that 1+ speed on him is actually massive in our league specifically. Of course, ideal sense of pressure for both of them. Gunslinger 1, I believe, and Superstar Dev for both of them. Pick and choose whatever you want. They're both good. And then I know the Lions at pick 3. It was a tough one. Ended up trading a couple first-round picks, I believe, and Penei Sewell to get here. Was debating on going Will Anderson, finding a quarterback elsewhere. Personally, I probably would have went Will Anderson and looked for someone else at quarterback. There was a lot of different options. But he ended up making the right call as Hendon Hooker is a superstar development trade quarterback with some pretty good ratings. 24 years of age, but very solid player nonetheless. And then at first, which kind of caused us to make a trade, was kind of mad that he's taking him. But because we traded, glad he took him, because otherwise we would have looked kind of dumb. Obviously, the Panthers at 4 taking, where the hell is he? Will Anderson to pair up with Brian Burns, which is freaky. X Factor, I would imagine, even if he isn't, he's at least superstar. 90 speed, 90 excel, 90 finesse, 86 block shed, 82 power move. He is a goon in fairness. Really, really good player, which is just absurd. He's absurd, simply put. He's absurd, and he is an X Factor. We're number 90. Little disrespectful, kind of, but I mean, I suppose a guy like Will Anderson, I feel like he probably gets the nod. Julius Peppers wore 90, right? I'm not some sort of idiot guy. And of course, at pick 5, a guy that I even thought at pick 5 was choice. Ringo, the superstar, 6'2 cornerback, 94 speed, 93 excel. A little bit better in jumping and catching. Well, catching a lot than Tony Grimes, but similar player to him, which is why, a lot of different cornerbacks in this one, it really did come down to dev. The dev was really what made one corner a great pick and another corner just like another guy. So, I don't regret the Tony Grimes pick. I think he's going to be a goon for us, but seeing some of the other guys that were in like the third round even still having hidden development trade and 90, 91, 92 speed, it's like, well, I kind of just overdrafted the guy even though he was a 1-2 and he's obviously a good player. Now we move on to pick 6, which I know was a debate there, as well as he was thinking maybe going Ojulari, maybe going with, well, if Ringo was there, maybe Jalen Carter was an option. Instead went Trenton Simpson, who, not going to lie to you, he's good, but underwhelming. That catching and change direction is a mad L and maybe makes him not unusable, but, a tier below where he probably should be. Superstar development trait, very fast and whatnot, but, man, the catching and the change direction is a super L, I can't lie. Then you have the Bills, who had a super W with Ojulari, superstar development trait. I was debating myself for a little while, going for him as, I needed an edge rush, but I was thinking, what's more likely to get? A DT round 1 and a pass rusher at 23? Or, pick 1, our pick, first pick 10, or the other way around. And the way the board fell, it seems like I was right. Bracey was not going to be there past maybe 15 or so at best, yet we had pass rush options at 23. So, it would have been a great pick either way, but I think we made a right call trading back, getting the cornerback, and getting Bracey anyways at 10. Definitely worked out for Bills either way. Definitely worked out for him. And then we move on now to the Chargers, who ended up going wide receiver, trading up from 16 to 8, using a second-round pick next year. Booty, even though if I was him, I would absolutely tell everyone it's Butte or Beauty. I mean, call me the Beauty. I don't know, Keyshawn Beauty. But I'm pretty sure it is Booty, which, props to him for owning up to it, right? He's a god anyways, so who cares? He's a beast. Anyways, very good player, obviously, there. Derek had to trade Keenan Allen off because of age and money, as Herbert's going to want a lot of money, let me tell you. Bo Nix is the option, backup option, of course. And then, man, what a golden opportunity. Offered him, a trade. I think we were going to get 2 late seconds, which, I think I probably would have taken over that pick 37 from the Bears, but didn't want to do it. He was like, screw it, I'm just going to take whoever's there, and what a decision, because, Jalen Carter. I don't know who he takes at 5 anyways, in fairness, but gets Jalen Carter at 9. 1 pick before us, which sucks, but both guys, Bracey and him, superstar development trait. Definitely a little bit of a head start for Jalen Carter, but we'll see who has the better career when it's all said and done, and that is a damn challenge, you best believe. Elias Ricks, cornerback at 11. I know Toxic said he thought that I was going to take him. And, I thought about it. I thought about a lot of different players, but at pick 10, when I seen Jalen Carter was, at pick 9, when I seen Jalen Carter was there with Bracey, I knew I was going one of the two. And Elias Ricks is exactly what I was hoping Tony Grimes would be. Even though I knew Tony Grimes' catching and jumping was going to be bad, I still took him anyways. It's not like I was, shocked. But this is like the perfect corner, right? This is who you want. Although, what does this change of direction, actually? It's 85. What the hell is Grimes? 89. They're both really good. I don't know what that change direction looks like at number 2, how much that matters, but fair enough. Very good corner. Star development trade, unfortunately, but obviously insanely talented. And then 1 pick back, which I know probably hurts now looking back at it. Joey Porter Jr., 6'2", superstar development trait. 1 year older, worst catching, but pretty much hasn't beaten everything else. Well, not everything else, but in a lot of the other important ratings, like speed and excel, I think is slightly similar or higher, but that dev is massive. Still a really good pick in Ricks, though. It's kind of 1A, 1B type of thing. It's just the dev. Both players ended up with good players, so it is what it is. Rod had a really good draft in general, ended up grabbing a bunch of other solid players like this safety, I think, was also, I probably should have waited, but I guess we'll show it. This was pick 19 for him, which ended up being a hidden development trait free safety, Brian Branch. Don't know if he's superstar now, but guess what? Why not? Let's find out. And he is superstar. Really solid pick there. And then I believe he had another first-round pick. Might as well get this out of the way because we're showing all the first-round picks anyways. Also superstar development trait, Gibbs. Super fast. 92 juke move on top of it. Absolutely insane. Injury is a little bit of a concern, but Solid player. Then we move on to the Steelers. I don't know what his dev is, so I didn't actually look. I'm about to find out. Really wish that these players, specifically their dev, would have been a little bit better because, there are some decent linemen, and it's just so hard to take linemen in drafts knowing, pick 13 is a star dev tackle, It's tough. I could never do it. He needs line badly, Well, I wouldn't even say badly because he did a pretty good job with Sewell and whatnot, but needs line as his majority need. So you can't blame him for taking them, but it's in these user classes, that the line is going to be, at best, average or above average, where the other players are going to be gods because they're more fun, If this guy is superstar, though, he took the L because Peter Skoronski, who I would have thought would have been the better player based on the way the board looked, went one pick after, and both star, still an L, but it's not as big of an L as it would have been if he was superstar, obviously. I'm just saying I got the best lineman in the class with Freeland. That's all I got to say. That's all I'm saying. And then the Colts also taking a lineman. I'm almost guaranteeing he star development trait. Don't know if there was any other superstars in the entire class other than Freeland, who we took in the 4th. It's kind of funny every time we say it. Then we look at the Falcons, who absolutely dominated the draft with trades ups and trades downs. Obviously lost guys like Calvin Ridley and A.J. Terrell, but ended up getting so much more back. Bijan Robinson, I don't know if he's X Factor, but I know he's at least superstar. Very good player. Very well-rounded. Solid. And then here's a guy that I actually didn't pay attention to in the entire draft. I was kind of thinking about going to myself, and I'm going with the hidden development trait wide receiver who has insane route running. Wholly overrated, though. He's good, but, he's a rookie. Relax. A little overrated, but insane route running in general. Superstar on top of it. He's freaky, even though he's a little on the slower side. Antonio Johnson, not really sure why he went safety. Who's his free safety? Yeah, Minka Fitzpatrick. I forgot about that guy. Why did he go for so many rookie, safeties? He paid Terrell Edmonds, who's on a cheap deal. Maybe he just sucks. He doesn't like him, but on a cheap deal, he's good. Don't get me wrong, Antonio Johnson's a good player, but a little confusing why, he would go with a safety, but star development trait, good player nonetheless. And then we go back to the Cowboys, who I forgot also had multiple first-round picks in Cam Smith, a guy that I was really debating on going for as well. Grimes obviously was way after that. I didn't even have a chance at Cam Smith, but thought maybe there was a chance someone like him would fall. Very, very good player. What is that dev looking like? It is superstar. What a pick. I think we already showed Anthony Robinson, a very, very solid player that, just needs a little bit of help with breakouts. Me in sophomore year. Titans taking Myles Murphy. I was thinking about him, but I would have thought about him more of as a DT than anything. So, sure, I may have taken him over Foskey or Foske, whatever. I'm going to learn all these guys' names, like I said, but I would have seen him more as a DT. Otherwise, we would have had ourselves another Zadarius, which, don't get me wrong, this guy's absolutely insane. I believe he is superstar as well. But, I didn't really mind taking who we took because he's super fast. And then even though he is only star, Cliff with Quentin Johnston, a super beast wide receiver. He's huge and beastly. I'd really want to see what he's going to get up to this season. The Jets with another guy that I was also thinking about going for, Owen Papawi. I'd imagine that's how you say his name. It's going to be it's Papo. I don't know. Star development trait, I believe, with 93 speed, 91 excel. Absolutely absurd. What's that change of direction? 75. Still pretty mid with that, though. Buccaneers with quarterback Will Levis. Didn't have enough money to get Brady back, I don't think, and he's now a Giant. And Will Levis, very fun player. Kind of a poor man's Josh Allen, obviously. Not a bad pick that late in the draft at 27. Would imagine he was only star, but I am curious to see what his throw style is. Slinger 3, that's a crazy good pick at 27 that nobody's really talking about. And then Jalen Duncan with the Chiefs, another really good pick here. Don't know what his dev is. This guy actually has a chance to be in superstar himself, and he is only star. So, like I said, I think I might have the only star or superstar development trait lineman in the entire class. The guard Voorhees, normal development trait. Ooh, yikes, that's a bad pick. That's not a good pick at all. Holy crap. And then a bit of a reach from the Bengals here to go with Derek Hall. Not really sure why this was the choice. Pretty sure Carter was still on the board at the time. Kind of curious to see where Carter went. It was between Foskey and Carter for me. I thought Foskey was just going to be a bit faster than Carter, and I'd imagine that is what happened, but still, a very good player there. I don't know if Derek Hall would have been my choice out of the remaining players. Noah Sewell, who I would imagine is superstar development trait, kind of fell a bit because people were worried about that speed. What's his change of direction? 76, which is actually really good. Mad Eric Kendricks vibes, obviously a bit taller, I think. Can't remember how tall Kendricks was, but I felt like he was on the smaller side. Superstar development trait, not a bad pick. Was it the number one need? Maybe not, but I think it's a really good pick. End up getting, I think, another corner as well later. Superstar development trait. He's 87 speed, though. Not a bad player, obviously. And then the Niners, who traded Trey Lance because he just couldn't afford him or wouldn't have been able to afford him going down the line, ends up getting Jaden Daniels, which ironically enough is literally a better Trey Lance, which is, pretty clutch by him. I ain't even going to lie. Props to him. Not going to go into it, but the Cardinals, ended up grabbing a bunch of linemen. They didn't quite have a first-round pick, but a bunch of linemen that I believe were a hidden development trait. And then talking about Andre Carter, a lot slower than I would have actually thought. So I was kind of regretting the pick a little bit, thinking, wow, maybe we sold, because Andre Carter I thought was going to be like 84, 85 speed, but he's only 81. So, if we would end up taking Andre Carter, it would have felt like a mad miss that we didn't get Myles Murphy, but instead we got neither of these kind of slower types that maybe fit more on the interior, but ended up going with Foskey, who's obviously very fast and kind of what we're looking for, opposite side of Hunter. Actually have a chance to, drop either of those guys back into coverage a little bit more to throw off the offense a little bit, whereas, typically if you're throwing the ball, you're thinking Za'Darius and Hunter's on the field. There's no way Za'Darius is dropping back. We did it a few times, but not often. Changes some things up now, and that's pretty much going to be it for the draft. Obviously, there were some other really good picks, like the Rams taking Michael Mayer at 45. I thought was a pretty damn good pick, assuming he's superstar. I'd say he was. Lance's Commanders, who was kind of the guy that edited a lot of the picks, didn't get all of them in. So some of the players, there may be too many hidden. There's too many ratings, that are a little high. Can't really blame him because, we kind of ran out of time. He was still trying to edit based off of like the real life college games, but we were into the point where people were making trades, and you can't really have, the rosters and, the edits for the ratings and all that when people are already making trades. Like, oh, I traded for pick 3, and the guy I wanted is literally just regressed to like, way worse than he was, so, can't really blame him there. But ended up going with like Jalen Catalon, who was superstar development trade free safety. He had no first round picks. Like I said, with the Cards, I don't think he didn't have a first round pick because he traded away a bunch of stuff. Got a lot of value back in fairness, but pick 33, Anton Harrison, like we talked about, a hidden development trade tackle. The Bucks taking Darnell Washington at tight end, late second, got their Gronk replacement, if you will. But yeah, very fun offseason. Long drawn out, little stressful, but super fun, especially for our roster specifically. This is the, kind of final look. Didn't play any of the preseason games for week 1. Obviously, there's a little bit of bronze going on here. I'm not a huge fan of it, and I will admit our draft picks coming up aren't looking great. We have no first, no second round picks, no fourth round pick. A third and a fifth, though. Obviously, you have a guy like Darisaw that you can probably trade for decent value. If I trade, I'm going to be looking for probably at least a second-round pick. Re-sign Ezra Cleveland because he's going to be cheap. But, yeah, ended up with a superstar right tackle, a new star dev right guard. O'Neal's going to be playing left tackle as, the tackle situation last year just didn't work out how it was. So, going to try that out. Thielen, I didn't show him, but really didn't regress. I'm pretty damn proud of him. 87 overall. We have that upgrade point. I'm actually going to show you the upgrade points because I think I have a few upgrades. I'm going to make them right now. Still really good, has his abilities, and he didn't even drop speed. Clutch. Gives us another year, to still have a pretty good receiving group while we try to figure that out. I don't know if Jalen Reagor is going to get the re-sign or not. We'll find out. And then defense, it's not the perfect roster. But, considering some of the aging pieces we were dealt, like an expensive aging Harrison Smith, which apparently with Fountain of Youth wasn't enough to slow that down. Obviously an aging Thielen, an aging Za'Darius, an aging Kendricks, even though Kendricks didn't really regress too hard. A bad quarterback situation where Kirk Cousins, people telling me, start him. Who cares? You want to win now, don't you? We won 14-3. Relax. Who is still probably in free agency as he wants $11 million. And these are his ratings. 84 throw power. What am I supposed to do with 84 throw power? Come on. This is why I didn't want to start him. Maybe get a spark with Mon, get a lucky breakout, and he was our starter for the future. I don't know. But now it's obviously Desmond Ridder. Still have more needs that we could maybe try to fill in trades or free agency. But I'm going to be honest with you. Even though we killed it in the draft, could be a tough road ahead as we have to pay a lot for Jefferson. You know, hopefully once we're able to get rid of Thielen, even though I really like Thielen, at some point, you know, he will be too bad to play. Hopefully we can afford, you know, to release him whenever that is. You know, same with Harrison Phillips, I'm hoping goes soon. And who else was it? Harrison Smith. I don't know how many times I feel like I've said Harrison. You know, when you get rid of some of those guys, team could be in a good spot free agency salary cap wise and maybe able to fill some of those positions. So a lot of this success is going to come down to how we developed Asamoah, how we develop the number 2 middle linebacker, whether that's this man right here or Pratt. Pratt's kind of just a bandage, to be honest, not like an actual fix, but he's a good bandage for a very weak middle linebacker group right now. You know, Bracey's obviously long-term, but these two guys, you know, what situation are we going to be in deep on those? Corner, thankfully, is completely set. We're set on corner no matter what. Dancer, maybe get like a 3rd or a 4th round pick or some sort of player for him if we're lucky. Ransom, you know, how he develops is going to be key. Ridder, obviously, is the biggest question mark. Rager would be nice to develop him, but I'm thinking wide receiver 2 and 3 may need to be replaced sooner rather than later. Same with tight end, who knows. But the one thing that's for sure, O-line set. Running back set. Wide receiver 1 set. Right end set. Corner set. Free safety 1 set. Edge completely set. You know, it's an okay situation. We've gotten, you know, out with the old, in with the new, as they say. But no draft picks coming up, unfortunately. Let's use our Brian Asamoah upgrade field general. I'm going to be honest with you. This could be a sense of, like, not using... Wow, what a nice upgrade there. We really need upgrades like those to keep coming. This could be a sense of us, like, you know, wasting the opportunity. But I almost feel like, once again, with Adam Thielen, didn't really regress in speed or anything like that. I don't know if I should upgrade him with our point. I think we should hold on to that again. I really do. I feel like when you got an old guy, you want to keep the upgrade point for when their speed drops to an unusable level, and hopefully you get bailed out by that upgrade point. That's all I can tell you. That's what I think it is for, so I'm not going to do it. And as far as Booth goes, don't know what abilities are the best. So 85 overall. So man-to-man gives you short route KO and bench press. I really don't like that. Deep route KO is not bad either. Man, 90 man. Acrobat 90 overall. Crap. So slot looks pretty good. Zone's pretty good. Slot and zone. I think you just keep going with slot just because it's a really good upgrade. +4. What do we get? 2 to man, 1 to tackle, 1 to awareness, 1 to do agility. He's already a pretty fast corner, but if you can just get like 1 more, he's basically like, you know, what I was hoping Tony Grimes would be. Even though, like I said, it's weird I keep saying that because I knew his jumping and catching wasn't going to be great. But hopefully the video is not too long. Hopefully there wasn't anything that was too confusing because we made lots of moves, and I wouldn't blame you for wondering, like, wait, what did he say he did with this guy again? Wait, how is Za'Darius and Kendricks gone? Why is the roster so different? Of course, guys like Sue and Patrick Peterson did retire on us, so, you know, those guys are gone because of that. And yeah, I'm excited for the season as, you know, it's not like any other franchise where, you know, you kind of have the majority of the roster still intact. We changed a lot. You know, we're starting, 2 new linemen, a new quarterback, 2 new D linemen, a new corner, a new safety, a new middle linebacker, a new outside. You know, we're starting like 30% new players. So should be a super fun season as we are going to be at home against the Panthers for week 1. That'll be next episode. Hopefully you guys are as excited as I am, as I really am. This might be the biggest roster change we've had from one season to the next in like any of our franchise histories. Like, this is crazy, and I am excited to see what we can do as we have a lot of guys to develop, and that is always what makes a franchise fun, in my opinion. And yeah, hope you guys liked, in the video, and hopefully you're excited for the season. If you are, maybe leave a like, maybe subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel PK Plays for non-Madden stuff. And if you're not new, really appreciate your continued support as I enjoy making these franchise videos, and hopefully you guys enjoy watching them. That's about it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!